Discover solutions to issues that affect your family and professional life with practical information to help you get past life's adversities. Take a proactive approach to power up your life with Rosalie's expert resources.
The new year is a great time to create good habits for the rest of the year and the rest of your life. It's out with the old and in with the new. We can now set our goals for healthy living, like eating right and taking better care of our families. Here to offer some easy tips on wellness goals for the new year is the editor of SimpleMomsGuide.com, Tara Wellington. Good morning, Tara, and thank you for joining us again this year with your New Year's wellness goals.
Hi, Rosalie. It's so great to be here. Happy New Year.
Share with us some of the newest trends for healthy eating this new year.
One of the biggest trends is super grains and foods, and I'm here on behalf of several companies that I'll talk about today. And super grains are simply those that are not stripped of the really beneficial protein and fiber and vitamins, so make a goal to look for them. And a great example of this is from Kind, their new breakfast bars. And these have recognizable ingredients, and they're going to have a full serving of those whole grains that include the gluten-free oats and the millet and the buckwheat and the amaranth and the quinoa. They are soft baked with crispy outside, an excellent source of fiber. And if I'm really busy in the morning and I need to hurry and get my breakfast, you can take one of these bars and pair it with Greek yogurt and fruit, and I'm ready to go.
So do you think the new USDA dietary guidelines will encourage families to eat more fruits and vegetables?
Absolutely. I think it will encourage a wide discussion about the benefits of eating fruits and vegetables. This is great. And also, you know, the Harvard School of Public Health says that it can, by eating more fruits and vegetables, you'll reduce your risk of heart disease, reduce the risk of eye and digestive problems, and also lower your blood pressure. So, you know, a great example of this is to make a goal to eat a more variety of fruit options. Big Slice is something that is portable that you could try out. It's juicy, cooked apples. They're delicious, all natural, about 100 calories, lots of flavors. The banana, mango, and hemp seed is my most favorite. It's a snack that you can take with you anywhere. It opens really easily, and it's found at Publix, in the major grocery retailers as well, in the fruit snack aisle.
Are there healthcare trends we should be looking out for in the new year?
Yes, so one of the biggest trends is with healthcare technology that can help you to book a doctor appointment online to save you time. ZocDoc can help you with this. It's something that you can be at your work or be by your child's bedside at midnight and download the free app. You can search for a wide variety of doctors in your neighborhood that take your insurance. You can book the appointment instantly online. Also, you can book yourself, for example, preventive care, like an eye appointment, your annual eye appointment. And when you're at your eye doctor, you can ask about water gradient technology. Dailies Total One contact lenses. These are fabulous because they're the first and only contact lenses that have this technology, which simply means the lens approaches 100% water at the outermost surface, which means you're going to get comfort until the end of the day. Of course, they're a daily disposable, so you can take them out at night and put a new one in every morning, and then you're ready to go.
So Tara, tell us where you can find more of these tips.
Yes, you can go to SimpleMomsGuide.com, and I have additional information. Besides the links to everything, I have additional information on how you can make those goals be a little smaller each month so that they're doable, but you're still going toward that healthy living.
Thanks, Tara, for sharing your wellness goal tips to promote new, healthier habits in the new year. Happy New Year to you and your family.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Each new year brings new advances in science, so we can now control devices using our minds. This may seem like science fiction, but it's already here. Joining us this morning is the Mythbuster himself, Tori Bellacci, to explain how blending technology and a new Star Wars science toy makes this a possibility. Good morning, Tori.
Thank you for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Tell us about a new device that utilizes brainwave technology today.
Well, you know, there's a lot of brainwave technology being used in the military, in the medical, and now in a toy. So I've teamed up with Uncle Milton, and they have a new product called the Force Trainer 2 Hologram Experience. And you actually control this toy with your mind. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. And even my son, who's in college, is into STEM and aeroscience and loves this concept of commercializing space travel. And STEM continues to influence the next generation of toys for kids.
Well, you know, the whole reason STEM exists is to get kids excited about science because, as we all know, it's so important. And what's awesome about a toy like this is you're not just playing, you're actually learning a little bit about science. In fact, I'll tell you exactly how this toy works. So right here, this headset actually reads the brain waves as you're concentrating. So the harder you concentrate, the more brain waves are created. And now then a signal is sent via Bluetooth to the toy, and you actually control the holograms with your mind. So you're playing with the toy, but you're also learning a little bit about science.
Tori, as a Mythbuster, explain how this new toy, the Force Trainer 2 hologram, allows your mind to control the toy to be programmed.
All you need to do is you do need a tablet, and then what you do is you download the app, and that gives you all the different types of holograms. You are going to get trained by Yoda. He's going to train you up like a Jedi to become a master Jedi. You get to fight droids. You get to fight Darth Vader. So this game is it's kind of you start playing it, and you see the harder you concentrate, you can actually move the holograms with your mind. And it kind of plays on your mind because you're like, this isn't a program that is tricking you into thinking you're controlling it. You're actually controlling it with the head device.
Tori, you're a former spacecraft model maker from past Star Wars movies, as well as a big Star Wars fan. So how does this new toy convey the excitement of Star Wars?
What kid wouldn't want to be a Jedi? I mean, I know I wanted to learn how to be a Jedi. And now there's a toy that will actually train you similar to being a Jedi. You get to get trained by Yoda himself, and he'll take you along this journey from Padawan all the way to Master Jedi.
All right, how does connecting the Star Wars mythology with real science and technology benefit all of us?
Well, you know, I did have a career for 10 years debunking urban legends and finding out what was true and what was not. And what's exciting about this is playing with it and watching other people play with it. It's actually real technology. It actually works. And as you're wearing it, the device, and you're concentrating and you're actually moving the holograms around, you know, this is real science. This isn't science fiction. This isn't, you know, a toy that tricks you into thinking it's being controlled by your mind. It's real science. So I'm so excited about this new toy.
All right, Tori, so where can we learn more information on this product?
If you go to StarWarsScience.com, you can find a whole line of these science fiction-based toys that teach you real things about science.
Thank you, Tori, for sharing your insights into this new incredible science toy to experience the excitement of Star Wars. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
A year ago, President Obama announced sweeping plans to make major changes to national immigration policies. All Americans can agree on one thing this year. We're all ready for some major moves on improving immigration policies. Here to discuss the current state of immigration policy in the U.S. is Victor Niblas, President of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Rosalie. Thank you for having me on your program today.
Victor, in the past, we featured experts from the American Immigration Lawyers Association here on the show because we cover Florida issues. We can all agree we need to secure immigration policies that protect our citizens at our borders as well as immigrants coming into our nation. So tell us, Victor, what is the current state of immigration policy in the U.S.?
Well, unfortunately, right now, immigration is stuck in Congress, and Congress just simply can't find the political fortitude to be able to discuss the issue and find common sense solutions for our country, our businesses, and our American families. And that's why we have President Obama then making this announcement and implementing his executive actions. And as an organization, what we've done is that we've reviewed what he's done in this past year, and we've given him a grade. And the results have been some were good grades and the others were not as good.
In general, how is President Obama doing in terms of immigration reform?
Well, we have to give him credit because he has at least pushed the issue of immigration in Congress, and he has made several speeches on it. However, he needs Congress to be able to actually pass comprehensive and common sense immigration reform. So until Congress decides that they want to dance with the president, unfortunately the president is left to be able to implement his executive actions. And he's made a lot of promises on executive actions. And so we want to make sure that he is able to implement what he's promised, at least this past year. And what we've seen is that he's lacked in a lot of places. He simply hasn't implemented what he's proposed.
I have a soft spot in my heart for immigrants. Fact is, I am a daughter of an immigrant, an Italian immigrant. My dad came into this nation legally and worked hard to raise his 6 children. For decades, our nation opened up their arms to millions of immigrants entering through our legal system. Isn't that the American way, entering our borders legally?
Definitely, it is the American way, entering legally. But when we have a system that's broken, we have a system that does no longer function. We have a system that was last reformed in 1996, and we're now in 2015. We need a system that reflects our needs now. We need to move to the 21st century when it comes to immigration laws so that we can help our economy and our American businesses and our families. And until we reach that, we're going to have problems of people trying to enter the country. Why? Because we hear this often. You have to get in back of the line. Get in back of the line and do it correctly. Well, some people don't understand that that line could mean 25 years. And that's just simply because of the result of our broken system.
So where do we begin?
Unfortunately, every time we talk about immigration, we have to talk about politics. We have to leave the politics aside. We have to leave the politics of emotion aside because we hear a lot of yelling, a lot of people, using the strong words. But when we look at immigration as a study and we see the benefit that immigration brings to the United States, it's always a win-win. Immigration will always help, for example, our economy, our businesses, and our families. Where do we start? Well, we start with Congress, but if Congress doesn't want to work on the issue, then we have to look at President Obama and simply ask him, implement the small changes that you propose. These small changes can have a great impact on our economy and our businesses, but you have to be able to implement it. You have 1 more year in your presidency. We're expecting him to implement a lot of these promises, and like my mom said, finish your work if you want a good grade.
So what will help improve President Obama's grade?
First of all, it would start to improve as he starts implementing what he's promised. So for example, he promised a special permit for investors, for scientists, for researchers, people that would help our country. And that is an easy permit. But to date, we haven't seen it. We would like for him to do so. People who want to come here legally, legal permanent residents, he's promised a provisional waiver. Some of these folks have to travel abroad to the consulates to be able to get their green card interview. But if they travel abroad, our laws say they're going to get punished for 10 years. It makes no sense. That's why we need our waiver. And he promised a waiver for legal permanent residents. Until today, we still haven't seen it.
So Victor, tell us where you believe the president excelled on immigration.
Well, we gave him a good effort, for example, in the implementation of DACA. He helped many students who want to study, who want to continue their careers in the United States. He also proposed DAPA, which would help the parents of some of these students, and the extension of DACA too. But we know that these programs currently right now are stuck in the courts.
Where can our viewers find more immigration information?
AILA.org, that is AILA.org. We have a lot of information about the immigration process. There's a lot of education there that can happen if you visit our site.
Thank you, Victor, for joining us this morning to discuss the need to improve our U.S. immigration policies. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much.
a new year, and you've always dreamed of starting your own business, but your personal life has been a trip to hell and back. Not to mention, money is tight and adversities continue to block your path to success. Well, when you think you have it tough, listen up to how one man defied all odds, fighting childhood cancer and beyond. Joining us this morning to share how he overcame his limitations to transform his anatomy of his personal and professional success is Willard Barth, executive business coach, speaker, and more. Good morning, Willard.
Good morning, Rosalie. Pleasure to be here.
Willard, you recently celebrated your 42nd anniversary. Tell us about it.
December 20th was the date of the amputation of my left leg when I was 8 years old, 1973, so it's been 42 years.
How did you face this life challenge so young?
You know, it was a defining moment, I should say. We attach meaning to the experiences that happen to us, and for me, in that moment, I attached a couple of different meanings. One was I had to prove to everybody else I was no different than they were from that point on. You know, I had to be a normal child. But inside I knew I wasn't normal and there was a lot of anger. So it put me in two very different mindsets. One was I became a mega achiever. Anything people told me I couldn't do, I set out to do. But like you said, waking up that morning, reaching down to scratch an itch on a leg that wasn't there anymore, it really shook the foundation of everything I'd known to that point, you know, in my family, in my religion, and all those types of areas.
As a national disability advocate, I recognize the challenges people face when they lose a limb. But it's difficult to imagine how a young child interprets this experience.
I mean, you know, I had Sunday school teachers and adults asking an 8-year-old kid, why do you think that you lost your leg? And I really didn't have a good frame of reference for it. You know, my answers that I gave to them, I knew were not genuine. You know, I would say things like, well, this is God showing bad people that if he's willing to do something like this to a little child like me, they better be careful because he's really going to punish them. And as the words would come out of my mouth, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. When I went back to school, there was a combination of people wanting to help me genuinely and wanting to support me, but I would resist that help because, again, I didn't want to be different than anybody else. I didn't want them to have to push my wheelchair or, you know, help me get around to school, because it's that thing, even at 8 years old, you just don't want to be different than other people.
So as a teenager, how did your friends and peers accept your disability? And more importantly, how did it affect your self-image? How did you cope with it?
At the age of 13, I started drinking and using drugs. And I also had been sent to a school that was outside of my school district because of the amputation. The school where all of my childhood friends went to was a 3-story building, and they didn't want me to be dealing with going up and down the steps, so they sent me to another town to where the school was all on one floor. And I felt isolated. I felt, again, like the spotlight was being shined on me of my being different. And that was a turning point in a lot of areas. You know, I went from a straight A student to a straight F student. And I rebelled in every way possible because I wanted to be back around the kids that I had gone to school with and known and grown up with. So at 13, when I got introduced to alcohol and drugs, it just took me off in a whole other direction.
So drinking and using drugs allowed you to feel like you were fitting in. How did that play out when you got older?
You know, I ended up being the first licensed amputee motorcyclist in Pennsylvania. I lettered in junior high school wrestling, I lettered in senior high school football, and I had my first business by the time I was 19 years old. But the demon side of me, all of the insanity that was going on, the drinking got worse and worse and worse to where I was drinking at 19, 20 years old. I was drinking 2 cases of beer, a half a bottle of tequila, and taking 2,500 milligrams of speed every day. I had gotten 4 DUIs within a 5-month period. And then I got the 5th DUI a year later, driving under the influence, which violated my probation on the first 4. So that's where I was facing the 5 years in jail. I didn't stop then. I had to be the perfectionist, so I went for DUI number 6 in 1989. And it was a month after being arrested for the 6th time while I was driving drunk. I woke up, excuse me, in a parking lot, not remembering how I got there, and I was behind the wheel of a car again. And there was a moment of clarity. Again, like I said, it's that tipping point where all these other things happen. This moment of clarity where two things happened that morning. One simple sentence, I shifted how it was in my mind, which was, up until that point, I thought that I drank and I used drugs because I had problems. But that morning, I realized that I had problems because I drank and used drugs. A lot of other people tried to get me to understand that, but I couldn't understand at that point until I shifted that meaning.
So you had to overcome the loss of your leg, anger, self-hate, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, jail, financial debts.
Yeah.
So how did you have the courage and stick-to-itiveness to keep fighting?
There are 7 phases to what I call the anatomy of transformation. And I think the biggest keys in that transformation, one is going from awareness to taking responsibility. And there comes a point of awareness. So the key in answer to your question, Rosalie, one is taking responsibility. Taking responsibility of saying every choice, every action, every decision that I've made up to this point has gotten me to where I am right now. I have to own that. I can't blame it on my parents. I can't blame it on the loss of my leg. I can't blame it on God. I can't blame it on anything. I have to own that I'm the one who chose to go in that direction. And when I've taken that responsibility and I've accepted that I'm here because of me, now I can use that moving forward and say, okay, I have the choice. I can continue down this path or I can work on healing myself and growing. The second key is about your level of commitment to that and being able to plug yourself into other people who've walked the path before you.
So where can our viewers learn more on how to transform their lives and your upcoming new book?
Best place to find me, quite simply, it's willardbarth.com.
Thanks, Willard, for sharing your amazing story to overcome life-altering challenges and transform your personal and professional life. Have a happy and healthy, successful new year.
You also. Thanks for everything, Rosalie.
We are all striving for a greater quality of life, and it takes time and hard work. So, are you ready for the new year to be the new you? Here was some advice to transform your life from feeling fine to being fab in the new year is our relationship expert, Lisa Lieberman-Wang, creator of the cutting-edge neuroscience, Neuro-Associative Programming, or NAP. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Rosalie.
This time of year, the first thing most people do is to embark on a New Year's resolution. What suggestions can you offer our viewers to be more successful and follow through to keep them?
Absolutely. And you're right. New Year's resolutions are the biggest thing. We talk all year about doing things. Come New Year's, we make the decision, I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to get that job I really want. I'm going to find that significant other. All these resolutions happen, but unfortunately, most of them aren't kept. As a matter of fact, there was a study showing that only 8% of people who make New Year's resolutions actually keep them. And if you do the math, that means 92% fail. So my first suggestion is don't make a New Year's resolution. Really decide every day to do something good for yourself. And a decision to me, Rosalie, means to put an end to any other option. Just like we brush our teeth every day, we need to make a decision every day to choose healthy or choose the choice that we want.
So how do we choose to learn what you refer to as fly?
Well, you know what? To me, fly is first love yourself, and every day it needs to be a decision. A lot of people say, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to do the right thing for myself. But the biggest challenge we have is when it comes to that, it's that we don't like ourselves where we're at most of the time is why we want to make the change. So unless we make the choices to love ourselves as we are, imperfect and all, lumpy, bumpy, and all the other things that we don't have, but until you love yourself where you're at, you're never going to make good choices for someone you don't like. So I think we need to all learn to fly. Again, first love yourself.
Some people find it difficult accepting themselves as they are, to love themselves. So what barriers prevent them from seeing their inner beauty or outer beauty in themselves?
Oh, that's an easy answer, although most people think it's difficult. You know, we've been weaned for so many years being told certain things about ourselves, what's wrong, what could be better. It's so easy to focus on what's not good versus what's bad. And if you realize what happens in the English language, we have over 1 million words in the English language. Most people don't even use 12,000 within their whole vocabulary. 4,000 describe emotions. 12, ready for this, 12 are really where we live, and they're usually negative emotions. So we're telling ourselves what's wrong with us all the time. So all people feel is bad. And to go ahead and to thrive, it's pretty challenging when you've been programming yourself to believe things that aren't true. And I say aren't true because I really believe the word belief, if you look at it, the word B-E, and then there's an L-I-E in the middle of it. Those are the lies we tell ourselves. And we've been telling ourselves these lies for so long, we've conditioned them. And just like you condition yourself when you exercise, we have to condition ourselves for the positive, not just the negative.
Once a person acknowledges and realizes their fears and their doubts, what should they do?
Well, acknowledging fear and doubt is always the first step, and it's usually the hardest. And the way we do that is through the stories that we tell. We have to start listening to them. Now that we know that we're doing it, we had to take inventory of the life lessons we've been given. And those lessons are really sometimes challenging to look at, because think about it, when we were young, we were told no all the time, right? Because they were trying to protect us. So don't touch that. No, no, no. See, hear, no. Or I remember being young, being told don't talk to strangers. And today, as an adult in business, that would definitely not serve me, right? We need to know what lessons worked and which ones didn't, and where they're not working so we can change them. So taking inventory of those life lessons, seeing where they're working for us, acknowledging the fear and doubt that we've had, and then doing something to change it is the next step.
Some of us resist change. So how can we make it an easier transition to create change?
Well, the easiest transition is, like I say, to do a daily routine. Every day we get up, hopefully we take showers, brush our teeth, do our hair. Well, I love to suggest we do 50 affirmations a day. And I don't mean just sitting there saying, I'm smart, I'm bright, I'm pretty, like that. But with your whole energy, your whole body, to say 50 positive things like I'm fabulous, I'm awesome, I'm beautiful, I'm kind, I'm loving, I'm courageous, I'm amazing. But to use your whole body, get into it, be excited about it, show up every day and celebrate life.
Lisa, leave our viewers with some advice to initiate the process of creating a new you for the new year.
Make a decision to do healthy, to do happy, to do whatever it is that you want. And if you want more information, just check out my book, Find to Fab, and I have 7 secrets to Fab. There's more details, a little bit of a worksheet in there to be able to apply it to yourself immediately to see results.
Thanks, Lisa, for joining us this morning to help us transform our lives from fine to fab by loving ourselves. Many blessings to you in this new year.
Thank you, Rosalie, and a Happy New Year and a Happy New You to you and your viewers.
The new year offers a fresh beginning to shed the doubts and fears that prevent us from growing personally and professionally. Share with us how you successfully fulfilled your New Year's resolutions in the past at facebook.com/Rosalie Show, or follow us on Instagram at The Rosalie Show. You can watch this episode and many others here at Ion Television, or 24/7 at RosalieArcherShow.com. May you and your family be blessed with a happy and healthy new year. We'll see you soon.